So one of the most powerful lessons that I've learned over the past few years as I've been trying to change and start living a life that's more in line with my goals and my dreams as opposed to like society standards. One of the most powerful lessons I learned is that fear isn't a bad thing. Okay? For most of my life, I thought fear was a bad thing, and whenever fear reared its head, I ran from whatever was causing the fear to come into my life. Now I'm starting to see that fear isn't a bad thing, and you can just embrace and accept the fear and do whatever it is you were trying to do anyway. Now, there are some instances in life where you're like, okay, fear is very valid, very justified here. I'm not going to do that. But in most cases, especially when it comes to doing things in life outside of your comfort zone and doing the things that will bring you joy and happiness and that will really mean something to you, a lot of the fear doesn't justify us not doing it. Okay? One of my favorite analogies is the fact that fear isn't your enemy, it's actually your friend. Fear is like a personal advisor. Okay? Fear, imagine being a king or a queen, and you always see there's this big throne room, there's the queen sitting up on this big throne. There's always that person lurking in the back or to the side of the monarch who, whenever the monarch's about to make a decision, they kind of look to them for advice, or the person whispers in their ear. There's always that number one advisor. Every smart, monarch, king or queen has one of those, or several of those, to advise them. That's what fear kind of is for us. It's not our enemy, it's actually our friend. It's just advising us, hey, this situation or this what you're about to do or you're thinking about doing, it's outside of our comfort zone. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Maybe it shows you, fear shows us some of the things that can go wrong. But that doesn't mean they're going to go wrong. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't do what we're trying to do. It just means typically it's something new. It's something scary. There could be, something lurking under the surface. Be careful. Once I realized that fear, instead of saying stop, is really just saying be careful, I was able to be afraid, be scared, and do things anyway. That's the secret right there. Nothing wrong with being afraid, nothing wrong with being scared, nothing wrong with being nervous. One of my favorite things in life now is that nervous excitement that comes when I'm about to do something and I really want to do it, but I'm very nervous, a little scared. I kind of love that feeling. And I also love when I conquer it and I do it anyway. And then I really get this feeling of elation of I was scared to do that and I did it. Once again, you can embrace fear. You can accept fear. Acceptance is one of the big keys in life. So many things happen and we can just learn to accept them. Okay. We don't have to jump out the window. We don't have to make it a major issue. Just accept it. And you will learn to start accepting as I push the envelope in my life. And as I start doing different and new things, I'm going to be scared. Anyone would be. It doesn't mean you're a coward or a wuss or there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you need to stop. No, it's natural. Fear is built into us. Okay? If you're a human being and you don't have fear, that's a problem. If you have no fear whatsoever, you're probably psychotic. You know what I mean? There's a clinical definition for what you got if you got no fear. The average human being, 99.9% of us, will feel fear if we're doing different stuff. Now, if you just stay in your comfort zone and you just live life doing the same things you've always done, yeah, on a day-to-day basis, unless you watch the news, you watch the news, you're going to feel fear 24/7. But if you don't watch the news, on a daily basis, not as much fear. And for some people, they would prefer to have it that way, and that's cool. Live your life however you want to live it. But for those of us who have identified, I really want to milk this life for as much as possible. I don't want to just sit around and watch other people on TV, going places, doing stuff, achieving, being happy, being joyful. I don't just want to sit back and watch. I don't want to observe. I want to like engage. I don't want to observe this life. I want to engage in this life. I want to do stuff that like I'm excited to tell people I did it. I want to be the one who has the stories. Okay? If you're like, I want to be the person that people look at and be like, man, Janice be everywhere. You know what I mean? Or she's doing this, she's doing that. Whatever your goals are. Whatever your goals are. A lot of mine revolve around travel, but yours may not. But we all have goals. We all have dreams. I firmly believe we all have things that like, if there was like a genie that popped in front of us and was like, you could have any life you want or could be doing anything you want, what would it be? We all have things we'd be like, well, I could be doing that. Bad news is, never seen a genie. The good news is, we don't need one. You know what I mean? The good news is, we can start making plans and working towards all these things. It is possible. So many people doing it. So many people doing it. They're not smarter than us. You know what I mean? A lot of them didn't have more money or finances than us. Okay? You know the difference between people who are like living the life they want to live or working towards it and the people who aren't? It's just those people just decided to do it. Screw it. I'm just doing it. And part of that, within part of that, screw it, I'm going to just do it, is you have to learn to just go beyond the fear. Yeah, I'm afraid. So what? I mean, like literally. Yeah, I'm afraid. So what? You can just embrace the fear. You can stop. And like, I'm feeling the fear. And, you know, sometimes I talk myself through it. Okay, I'm scared right now. There's fear coming up because if I do this, this might happen. If I do this, this might happen. And if I'm willing to take that risk, cool. One of the things that really helped me too also is realizing that no matter what happens, it's an adventure. One of my favorite quotes, life should be a daring adventure or nothing at all. And I'm like, it's an adventure. Even if it goes horribly wrong, which I hope it doesn't, you know, even if it goes horribly wrong, it's an adventure. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to get how to get up out of that horrible situation. But it's a story, it's an adventure. A year from now or 6 months from now, when I've worked through that whole situation and I'm back on track, it'll just be a great story. And it also, here's something else. When we go through situations and we try something new and it doesn't totally work out the way we want it to, it like builds up life lessons. You know, now you know. Now that you've been in that situation, it didn't work out and you were able to like handle it, get out of that situation. Now you know you got new life experience. Now you can try something even scarier because you're like, I went through that, figured it out. Ooh, let me try this. And it just keeps building. But yes, every time fear will pop up. Every time we're trying to do something different, level up a little higher, whatever, step further outside our comfort zone, fear is going to whisper in our ear. Yeah, I don't know, like that last one, okay, but this one, ha ha ha. But the cool thing is, just like a monarch, you know, if every time your advisor was like, hey, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, and the few times you didn't listen, it all worked out, now you got more confidence in your decisions. Hey, I'm glad I got these advisors. I listen when I feel like it's time to, but we all saw past few times I didn't listen, it worked out. I'm good. You know, that's how you become a powerful monarch, is trusting yourself, trusting your advisors, but also trusting yourself. And I know I have built up so much confidence and so much trust in myself, the more things I've done, because I know like I can do stuff. Years ago, I didn't. Years ago, I just knew like I had to switch my life up. I just wasn't getting out of it what I wanted to get out of it, but I didn't really have a lot of trust in myself. I didn't really have the confidence I have now in myself. I just hadn't done much. I'd just done like regular stuff. So I had like regular confidence. You know what I mean? But the more you get out there and do things you want to do, especially that you were scared to do, the more like confidence you build up. And the more when fear pops up, you're just like, yeah, I got you. Appreciate the memo, but we gonna do this. We gonna do this. And it becomes an adventure. There's a difference between just like living life and like living an adventurous life. and is night and day. You know what I mean? When your life starts to become a series of adventures, whatever that looks like to you. You know what I mean? Whatever that looks like to you, we all have different versions of our dream life. But when you find yourself in the middle of it, okay? When you find yourself in the middle of living like that dream life, and there's so many adventures, even if there's sometimes downtime when you're waiting to get to your next one or whatever, but just when you find yourself in the middle, you wake up one day and you're like, wait a second, I'm actually living the life I said I wanted to live. Quite possibly one of the best feelings in the world, ladies and gentlemen. When you wake up one day and you're like, hey, I faced the fear, I embraced the fear, I accepted the fear. I'm actually in the middle of living the life I want to live. It's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. One of the things that saddens me the most is that billions of people will never have that feeling. Part of the reason I make these videos and have this channel is I just want to do my little part from someone who's been able to have that feeling. I just want to do my little part to help other people be able to have that feeling. Like, it will feel like I've accomplished something I need to accomplish in this life. So once again, in closing, you will be scared. There will be fear. It will be uncomfortable. You'll want to run and hide. You'll want to stick in your comfort zone. But the only way to really get all the things out of life we want to get is to just accept that fear. Do it anyway. Do it scared. Do it scared. Like, why not? There's no rule that says you can't do it scared. All the women and men throughout history who achieved all these wonderful, awesome things, I promise you, they were doing them scared. They had their poker face on probably most of the time, and you would know it, but they all did it scared. That's the name of the game. You can be scared just like the rest of us, but instead of it stopping you, you can just go through it and just allow fear to advise you. Anyway, I'm Tim. Thanks for watching. I would love to hear any advice you have about fear and like how you accept it, embrace it, get through it, as well as always, in the comment box below, put down some of the things that you want to achieve the next year, the next 5 years, before this life is over, that you're a little scared to do. Let's talk about that. What are some of the things that you want to do, but you're scared to do? Let's get a conversation going in the community. I love each and every one of y'all. Talk to y'all later.